Tonight, we're happy to welcome back our new political consultants. Gail Andrews is an award-winning broadcast journalist, university professor, Democratic Party communications director, Senate press secretary, and political consultant. Senator Fred Dudley is a senior counselor with the law firm of Holland and Knight. He served 16 years in the Florida legislature, retiring from the Florida Senate in 1998, where he chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee. The Republican presidential primary is heating up in Florida as daggers fly. Prison privatization is not going as smoothly as proponents thought. Reapportionment becoming even more intriguing. To debate these issues, let's head right over to our political consultants, Gail Andrews and former Senator Fred Dudley.
Hey, Gail, what are we going to argue about today?
We are going to argue about that god-awful, actually it's great, that presidential primary of yours.
Oh, the one that keeps going on and on and on and on.
What the heck's going on? I mean, look at how Gingrich has just emerged as the player, the leader.
Isn't it a wonderful country that people in New Hampshire think differently than the people in Iowa? Duh. And all the way to Florida and South Carolina.
It's America, but see,
great.
They're in Florida now. The rules are different here.
And so far, none of them's gotten enough delegates that will even match Florida's delegates.
I know. And poor Romney is just having a god-awful time also.
He's like hit a plateau. But you know, Gail, what I think we need to remember historically, that the Florida legislature last year moved our primary to January 31st. And it hurt both parties in terms of the loss of delegates.
I agree with that, yeah.
But I think it's been helpful to our citizens to be really the largest state, not just southern state, up first.
Mm-hmm. And we're the third largest state, and so we deserve that attention. And we're the most significant and diverse and so forth. And I think that both of them are going to have a tough time. But Newt Gingrich is amazing to me. That guy is the biggest race baiter I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
and I just cannot believe that he has the audacity to continue to open his mouth.
I think he is one of has terrific ideas that cut across race lines. I haven't decided who I'm even going to vote for yet, so this isn't an endorsement. It is. It is. Thank goodness. I'm glad we have good choices. But when you say race baiter, I would disagree to this extent. I think he's a person that genuinely cares about people. And I liked what he had to say about the need to help people of all races, but particularly people that are disadvantaged socially and economically.
Well, you know, to say all that, I say this. He knew exactly what he was doing in very, very conservative South Carolina. I have not heard him mention any of that foolishness again in Florida, and I doubt very seriously he will. He would get hammered even by Republicans who have to determine whether or not they want him to be the nominee. Let's move on.
Well, we've got some tough choices. I think that's the bottom line.
I do. I agree with you 100%, and we love every minute of it.
And as a Democrat, which one would you vote for if we had open primaries?
I would vote for either one of them. I'm more worried about Romney than Gingrich.
You'd be a Ron Paul person.
Oh God! Oh, God. You know what? I will say this, and I don't want anybody to tell my daughter. I say she loves Ron Paul. She thinks he's great.
A lot of young people do.
They do. Yeah. They really do.
It's amazing.
But let's talk about prison privatization. That is a mess.
Oh my goodness.
It's a mess.
Well, it happened last year. As you know, the courts threw it out because the legislature did it in the form of a budget proviso language, which is not legal, and the courts properly threw it out. But now they're redoing it. I think the Senate Rules Committee took it up today and passed it out. Next week, by the way, no, this week, the House is going to pass out reapportionment.
I think it's tomorrow. Well, yeah, but let me just say one more thing about privatization. We can talk about reapportionment. That privatization bill didn't go that well. And there are discussions about